Hello everyone, welcome to Film Feast! I just want everyone to, right now before the episode starts, go comment about how I do the best intros, and then I should just start doing all of them from now on. I like the extra work, it's exciting for me. Gives me purpose in life, you know, just film feast intros. That's what I feast on. Today we're going to talk about sequels. We're going to talk about franchises. We talk about a lot of random stuff in this episode. It's pretty much sort of like a chill and talk episode. So join me, Tazi, and who's that other guy? Brent. Me, Tazi, and Brent. Gosh, that's awkward. He's my brother. If you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/filmfeast. If you want to email us hate mail, you can do that at info.filmfeast@gmail.com. And I would keep going, but this intro is already too long. Roll it! Roll it! Roll it! Tazi!
When are we trying? Oh yeah, the sequels and non
on Zoom now.
I
can't remember what we were talking about.
We were going to talk about
non-original ideas.
Yeah, non-original content. So sequels and franchises and reboots. And how because it was going off of what Martin Scorsese said, which is
I remember what I was gonna say from last episode.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. Tazi is remembering things. This is real progress. He's
hold on.
Before
I lose it.
Just like Memento.
Blockbuster movies versus indie movies. That could be the next
It was Blockbuster in Hollywood, Tazi. Get your movie stores right.
Blockbuster movies and versus like indie movies.
Yeah.
He didn't even get it. He just blew past it.
Okay, I just want to say with
I'm
the
just happy
you
I
guys
just
Blockbuster video and Hollywood video. You knave.
No,
you know what? I think that's a great discussion.
Tazi, movie rental place.
My family was always a Hollywood family.
The movie rental place.
There's only one left. It's in some like small town.
But we're talking about in the golden
back
age
when they were still a thing. I mean,
stores.
I think we just went to Hollywood because there was a Hollywood close to us. But we definitely went to Blockbuster every once in a while.
We did go to Blockbuster every once in a while, but I always felt that Hollywood had a better selection. And by better selection, I mean whenever we went and got movies, we had like 10 that we would get.
I think there was at least 5. There was Peter Pan, Dinosaurs, Mickey Mouse, Three Musketeers,
the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Oh yeah.
And then usually a grab bag. And then there's usually a grab bag.
Those are like the 4 I feel the ones that we always got were Peter Pan and Mickey Mouse, Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
I used to just buy movies. I wouldn't rent them.
Wow,
I always
you're a
felt
big
like
spender. You're an 8-year-old.
Well, they were $20, and I could watch them whenever I wanted.
Yeah, I didn't have $20 when I was 8 years old, Tazi.
I stole money when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's
Tazi.
Tazi, you gotta remember, Brent. We grew up very differently than Tazi did.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Let's not get into all that.
Yeah,
Tazi was what you call a hoodlum.
Hoodlum.
Yeah, Tazi, how much of your past do you want to reveal to the public in this podcast?
Well, there's going to be a movie about it one day. So
there you
go.
Think that's
you're gonna have a biographical worthy life?
I definitely have a biographical.
He's gonna be like M. Night Shyamalan. He's gonna make a movie that's
you're gonna make it
about
yourself,
a global leader, and then they're gonna make a movie about him, and it's gonna be called Lady in the Water.
My movie is gonna inspire the next like Hitler or something like that.
Oh gosh.
Tazi, that's not a good
terrible
thing. You know that,
well,
right?
It's not my job to make him interpret it the way that I made it.
Tazi, you know how by what Tazi meant was he's gonna be like the art guy who rejected Adolf back when he was in his 20s.
Yeah, I bet that art teacher or counselor or whatever it was feels.
I don't
really
know anything
bad.
about Hitler besides he was a bad person.
Before he went into politics, he wanted to go into art as a painter.
He went to art school,
and everyone crapped on
was
him about
rejected
it.
from art school, right?
And then he applied to art school in Austria, and they rejected him. And it was after that that he started joining political groups and developing his Nazi ideology.
I got into a few like prestigious schools, but I just chose not to go to them. So that's a flex on Hitler. I'm flexing on him right now.
It's very Tazi, I'm glad that
you chose.
You are above Hitler on the bar of comparisons here.
Yes.
Other people to be better than you're better than Hitler.
Yeah,
Guys, I'm
winning in this race against Hitler in this moment.
I'm at least better than
because Hitler. I thought to myself, this is why I never went to film school or art school or acting school, is because if I felt if I could go and get accepted to these prestigious schools, I won't name them, but if I could get accepted into them,
Juilliard.
Is it because you can't pronounce them, Tazi?
I can pronounce them.
Juilliard.
One of them was that, but there was others.
The other one was called Kennesaw Community College.
no, that's funny. No, I don't even know where Kennesaw is. I think I live like an hour away from
You don't know where Kennesaw is? It's northwest.
Well, but for him, it's...
Don't you live
For him, it's like almost... It's a little bit south.
Kennesaw
further than
I feel
Kennesaw?
like Kennesaw...
It's a little farther...
Like
it's a little farther
on top
west.
Of me.
It's a little farther west from
It's
you.
northwest. It's about an hour from where we are.
I think I live in either Vinings or Conyers. I don't actually know.
You don't know where you live, Tazi?
I say I live in Atlanta because I have an Atlanta zip code.
What's your
I'm not telling you my address.
What's your address?
No, dox yourself. Dox yourself right now, Tazi. Do it.
But let me get back to my point. If I could get into these schools, like if I could get accepted into them and get scholarships for them,
above Marietta,
then I could do it as a job. I don't necessarily need to go to these schools to learn anything, because the only thing I would be learning would be like technical stuff, or I'd be getting connections. That would be the only benefit. If I was skilled enough to get accepted into these schools that take skill to be accepted, then I felt like I could just do it.
Except I think
now
I think there's a little bit of a difference there, is that,
and I wouldn't be in debt. That was the biggest thing.
Places like Juilliard tend to try and take people that have potential, but they do have, like, those really prestigious, expensive schools do have the talented teachers that will make you better, and also the connections they can get you work immediately out of, like, getting out of there. Like Orlando Bloom, his first job was Legolas. And that was right after he graduated. They're like, all right, here's your roles. Go. And they got him in the room with Peter Jackson to audition for Legolas.
I did not know that. That'd be freaking dope, though.
Yeah, but so I'm saying I think the whole thing about schools in general is, like, some of them are a waste of money, and it depends on the person. Like, if you can afford to go into debt to go to Juilliard, it's a hard decision to make, but it's not necessarily a terrible decision. If you have to go into mountains of debt to go to George Mason University, which is where I went for a year, I would say probably don't go into huge debt to go to George Mason Film School, because
not worth it. It's not good. It's
a commuter school. It's not a big school. It's got a film program, but it's not I don't necessarily think it's a film program that's worth going into debt for.
Yeah,
there are definitely good teachers there. Like, right now, I know specifically of two. One is an indie producer that has been nothing but helpful to me. And then the other one, she did a short called, oh shoot, I can't remember what it was. It's basically about it's about black vampires. It's actually really cool. I can't think of the name.
What vampires?
It's called Blackula.
No, it's about black vampires. Like, she creates this world that's like, because of the extra melanin in the skin, they can be outside. They're daywalkers.
Oh.
So they just so they're the public face of vampires in the world, and you follow this doctor as she's like dealing with personal problems, but she's also a vampire.
So it's like What We Do in the Shadows,
but better.
Black vampires.
It's better.
So Twilight,
not better, but
in
different.
Twilight, I think there's only one like black vampire that has like actual speaking lines. In
Also, I'm gonna find
Eclipse. There's like extras that are vampires because they have like this big vampire werewolf battle. So there's only one black vampire in Twilight. So they've met their quota for black vampires in Twilight.
That is okay. Sorry, this is really annoying. Why
okay,
is the menu of Dishonored 2 all different fonts?
I don't know.
That's really disgusting.
It's weird. Quick note for anyone who wants to watch the film. It's called
guidelines.
Suicide. It's called Suicide by
Squad.
Sunlight.
Oh.
Suicide by Sunlight.
Suicide Squad.
The movie's very well done. I got to talk to the director, if I can find her name, and she's also been very helpful. She started working. Her name is. Please forgive me for butchering your name. Nikyatu Jus. It's either Jusu or Husu. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it.
You've done
She's
it
a
better
teacher
than
at George
me.
Mason. She's one of those up and coming directors that's getting a lot of looking at now. But the point of long and short of all of that is there is value in film school, but there's always a massive cost in terms of debt if you are not from means. So
there's a
huge
risk when it comes to film school rather than I would say a regular college. I would assume, even though at a regular college, most of the people that graduate, or if they graduate, they don't work in their respected diploma field.
No, definitely not. It takes.
So I think college in general is broken.
The college
school system,
it used to be,
period, is broken.
It just needs to change. I don't know exactly how it needs to change, but there is a lot of back in the day of our parents and grandparents. When you got a degree, there was a good chance that you would get a job from that degree.
Yeah.
And that's basically more like the master's programs nowadays. Like if you're a lawyer or a doctor or something like that, you're most likely going to get a job afterwards. But with the undergraduate, it's a lot harder to get a job.
Yeah. So SCAD here in Georgia. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
yeah. It's okay. Keep going.
So SCAD here in Georgia has what they say is a 99%, like 99% of their students that come out graduated with diplomas work in their respected field. I feel like that is total bullshit because everybody I know from SCAD is
unemployed.
Not just unemployed, but they're pretty bad at their jobs.
Like SCAD doesn't teach them well enough to get.
Well, I don't think they really
jobs.
teach them anything. I had a conversation with one of the screenwriting teachers there. Super cool dude. He's worked on many films in the industry, and a lot of their teachers have. One of them in particular, the screenwriter guy. Oh, no, sorry. This is a filmmaker guy. He's a director, and he's directed a few different things that are big in the rom-com era. I don't know his name. I forgot it. But I was talking to him about this specifically, is college actually important for working in the film industry? And I guess he went to some community college and then worked his way up that way. It's basically what his story is. And so now he teaches at a school because he's directing is stressful or something like that. And it is, I get it. So he just teaches kids how to direct. Not that his movies have made billions of dollars, because they haven't, but so I don't know, it really just depends. Everybody's filmmaking journey is totally different from the other one. I don't think any one is the same.
Remember hearing a lot of watching those GQ, I think it is, on YouTube, the ones where they sit down with an actor and talk about their career and stuff like that. There are a lot of maybe
I think
half
it's
of
variety
them, or something like that. Yeah. But half of them say that well, this is right after I got an acting school, and this is when I did my first or second movie or something like that. But then half of them are just kind of just started acting and then got an agent.
Did it.
Yeah, and then got an agent, and then eventually I did enough stuff that I got roles. So it depends on the people. And even the people who go to the school are I went to this school, but not everyone who is acting today went to a school to get an acting. So I don't think you can't act just because you didn't go to a school. I don't think that should be the mindset of people. They should think that they can do it no matter what, as long as they work hard enough. And with YouTube now, and even Masterclass as well, these things, they have plenty of resources in which people can at least get into the basics of acting or any other profession within filmmaking. You just gotta work at it.
I think if you want to start acting, just start filming like self-tapes and stuff like that, and start
Mhm.
learning on-camera auditioning and studying like the technicalities of what's the term that they use? Just on-camera auditions that are in-home on-camera auditions, because now everything's basically in a home now. Nobody really goes to a place and
Just
does an
record
audition.
yourself and send off a tape.
Yeah,
everything.
but send it to people that like would be able to give you feedback on it. I feel like a lot of people just, there's a big thing out there where you just make something and then you keep it to yourself. You don't share it with anybody just to make something.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I feel like that's such a bad thing because you don't really learn anything from that unless you like go back and watch it later down the road and be like, this is how I've progressed. Then that's something. But most of the time people just like make something and then they'll delete it. Be like, oh, I made something. Oh, cool. What was it about? Like, was it good or was it garbage? And can I give you notes? No, I can't because you deleted it. You know, so there's no real growth into like hearing what people's feedback is.
There's also something to be said about persistence and consistency, because I think there's a larger correlation between people who are just persistent and consistent with working towards their goal than people who go to school and become successful. And when it comes to self-tapes, or just not necessarily self-tapes, but this is for anyone working in the film industry, that showing your work to other people helps show them that you are making progress.
Yeah.
You are remaining consistent. Like, again, I don't know, you if you look at your original stuff that you've made and someone who has been around you from when that first thing was made to seeing what you can do now, oftentimes it's great to have that person around just for the encouragement that they can provide. When you're feeling down, you're feeling like you're not there yet. They're like, but you're making it there. You've got this mile that you're trying to run and you're only at, mile marker. You're only at a half mile right now.
Yeah.
So keep going because I've seen your progress.
I think it's interesting too. I mean, yeah, self-tapes and recordings are great. And when you can go outside and meet people in the same respective field that you want to be and go and do that. We have this group that we all are part of called Sentio, and it means to feel in some other language. I don't know what language.
It's Latin.
I would assume so.
Latin's a dead language. We don't use Latin here.
Well, it's a dead language except for
Sentio.
everybody who uses it for names for things, because everybody uses it for names for things.
I don't know what my name means. I don't even know what genre.
You're a
genre.
You're a female DC superhero from another planet.
Somebody from PayPal called me because somebody owes me money on the thing, and they, for some reason, they wanted to get my feedback from a seller, or something like that. And they called me and they were like, is Mrs. Starfire there? And immediately I just hung up. Don't assume my gender.
But you are like, I want to cut out the entire episode and re-record it. That's what you wanted to do.
That is true. You did want to do that.
True.
But
that was last episode.
Guys, I'm sorry. That was a different me. That was 2 days ago. I am so sorry. I am a changed man.
Yeah, why'd you guys want a break? I could do this every day.
Because some of us have COVID and didn't want
Your
to
boy has COVID and also doing this every day. I prefer not. I mean, taking a break.
Give us some time to breathe.
We took a break. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're good now.
It's okay. We literally have so many recorded. Okay, for anyone,
this is our fourth one.
For someone who has made it to this fourth episode, we've recorded these 4 episodes over the course of 2 weeks.
If you make
now.
it to this 4th episode, we're gonna be honest. It might be really hard doing that.
It might be hard.
Congratulations if
those
you did.
You know what? A round of applause to anyone who's made it to this episode.
You, nobody listens to any of these.
Here's the thing.
We don't want to hear these.
If you watched all 4 of these episodes, I will personally send the first 5 people a lollipop who say they watched all first 4 episodes.
Yeah, do it, Brent.
A lollipop.
I'm gonna make a spam
guys, if you want to do that, you can email us at filmfeast at
info.filmfeast@gmail.com.
If you've listened to all 4
yet.
Or just comment on the video. Or I guess if you have listened to it. I mean, if you've listened to it, you just go to the video later. But yeah, I want to
your social security number.
Send us your credit card information.
I would just prefer.
I'm broke.
I really like pets. Here's the thing. I really like pets. I love dogs. I love cats. I love fishes. Mine had a weird name called James. I would love to know what your first pet's name was because I just love hearing
Cheyenne.
people's names.
Yeah.
Huh?
Cheyenne was my first.
Wait,
pet.
hold on. Let me write that down.
It died. I assume it's been over 10
Oh,
years.
Tazi, quickly, what's your mom's maiden name?
My
No, that's the
biological
obvious
mom
one. You
or
can't
my
do that
adopted
one.
mother?
Both
What
of them,
you-
just in case.
Well, first of all, my
Which would you-
biological
if-
mom changed her
hypothetically-
name. No, listen, check this out. My biological mom changed her name before she gave birth to me, and
Okay.
then after she gave birth to me, changed her name back. What does that tell you about my biological mother?
Quickly,
She
did
really
your
didn't want you to have the
biological
same
mom
name.
give you the last name Starfire?
Yes, she changed it to Cassidy Moondancer Starfire was her name. And
Cassidy
then-
Moon Dancer Starfire.
Starfire, and
Okay.
then gave me the name Tazi Jericho, first name, no middle name, and then Starfire last name. And then she changed her name back to Kelly Kramer or Creamer or something like that, which is
So you
a
would have
weird
been
name.
Tazi Kramer?
No, I probably would have been like Jack Kramer or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but now he's Tazi
that's so much
Jericho
worse.
Starfire. Guys,
I'm
for anyone
glad
who
she
But
changed her
because I
name.
was adopted when I was 17 years old, I changed my name to Tazi, first name Jericho Raider. Raider, my adopted parents' last name, to my middle name. Combined those with a hyphen, and then kept my last name Starfire as Starfire.
So wait, it's Tazi, and then your middle name is Jericho Raider.
Raider.
Yeah, Rader.
So
That's
from
actually
sounds
really
like-
cool. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest.
Thank
Tazi
you.
Jericho Raider Starfire. You sound like
Jericho
you're from.
Raider.
You sound like
And
you're
it's
Sounds
from.
like a-
Raider
like
with-
a
sound like you're
you
Raider
sound
like-
Rader, not the Raiders football team.
Four,
Let's just restart the podcast.
3 guys, and 1 stick. We've done this a couple times because of
I'll just
issues
say
we've had before.
Yeah, the issues. Yeah.
this stick looks like a gun. Okay, I'm gonna use this to shoot off my tongue because what I just said.
I think that's just as triggering as everything
No.
you said before.
Why are you doing that, Justin? Let me
Don't
do
get
this.
triggered.
Jeez, it's not
Life
bad.
sucks.
Chill. God. Well, okay,
Ah!
fine. I'm gonna shoot off my tongue now because that's some stupid stuff now.
All right, and this
Here's
was
the thing.
3 guys and 1 stick.
3
Whoa,
guys
whoa,
and 1
only-
stick.
Only Brent can end this.
Hi, Tazi.
I know, I'm
3 guys
just-
and 1
I'm
stick is my
Pushing him
thing.
to end it.
You know what? I'm not gonna shoot off my tongue now. Tazi, I swear, I will shoot you with the stick. The stick.
Oh
breaks-
no, that's triggering. We
stick-
can't.
The stick gives me power. And who said it's a gun? Maybe it is a wand that I can just Avada-Kedavra.
Avocado.
Just kind of
Okay.
just like
Okay, guys,
Voldemort's hand is
Just
here.
since Brent's brought
No,
this up.
wait, guys, look. This is in Harry Potter. It's like Voldemort, his wand. Avada-Kedavra!
He does that.
I just
kind of
recently
floats
rewatched
and it-
Death-
Where is my?
Deathly Hallows Part 2. Rewatching Deathly Hallows Part 2, the part where Voldemort comes in with Harry's body and then Neville stands up to him. And Neville gives this great speech, draws the sword of Gryffindor from the sorting hat. And you just got
Sorting hat.
old Voldy there, just like going, oh.
He just goes.
But the best moment in that scene is just Harry Potter just yeet rolls out of
Hagrid's arm.
Hagrid's arms onto the ground, and instead of just any one of the Death Eaters immediately killing him,
Boom!
they all just watch him run away, and then
Yeah.
Voldemort's just like, what? No!
And then he breaks the Elder Wand at the end. Like why?
Yeah, but-
Why would
No,
you
he just
do
chuck-
that?
Wait, does he?
No,
say-
Harry
Oh,
Broke
he
it
just
and
chucks
then
it.
he chucked it.
Oh
he
yeah,
breaks
yeah.
it and chucks it. Because he doesn't want any evil person to have the wand anymore. So he's
But
like,
if he
"It doesn't
has
have its
it, there
power."
won't be evil people
His
using
whole
it.
point is it's like the One Ring. Like
Might as well destroy it
you-
so no one has that
one
power.
person might be able to use it for good, but ultimate power corrupts absolutely.
I mean, absolute
No,
Well,
power.
all I'm
Absolute
saying is
power,
if you
yeah,
have the
yeah.
Elder Wand, whatever this school name is called,
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts. Hogwarts was just destroyed. Right, you have the Elder Wand. You can use that Elder Wand to fix stuff first, to fix the things that are broken, and then you can go ahead and break
So
it.
it's like a reverse Thanos. He kills half the people and then uses the stones to destroy the stones. Whereas you fix everything and then use the wand to destroy the wand.
You know, I think it was more of a symbolic moment than a practical one.
No, I know, but that's my issue with movies sometimes. Is like
You don't like practical?
Is that
No,
they
I-
make
Or symbols,
they
you don't
make
like
I'd rather
you
somebody be
symbolic
practical and
decisions.
logical than some like off the cuff
So-
stupid psychology thing that nobody cares about.
Wait a minute. We were just talking about this with Tenet, how you were annoyed that they did logical only things and didn't go into the backstories of the characters and how frustrating that was that they made plot decisions and practical decisions instead
I
of
have bigger
character
issues than
decisions.
that with Tenet. With Harry Potter, they have names, they have arcs, they have like character development
Yeah,
for
and
every
breaking the
character.
wand is the end of Harry's arc. He's
Yeah,
accepting
it
that
can
his
be
mission
after
is
he
over.
fixes everything. It's like
No,
fix
it's-
everything and
Although,
then
to be
destroy it,
honest,
use it
that's
for
To be
good.
honest, if he wants,
care
it's
if
not like
it's
he's doing anything bad by
anticlimactic.
using the wand to fix everything. He's fixing Hogwarts. How is that a bad thing? Where he could probably do it a lot
it's
faster than
no,
a
it's
lot
not
of.
that it's a bad thing. It's that it's anticlimactic to be like, all right, what Hermione is
But
like,
the-
what are you
but
gonna
the-
do with the Elder Wand, the source of all evil? No one should have this power. But just to say, I think I can do some good with it first. Let's go fix.
Well, they
Hogwarts.
could wait
hey,
until
why fix
they have that
Hogwarts? Let me
conversation
go solve
until
world
after
hunger.
he's.
Yeah, let's go fix like actual issues.
But then, yeah.
instead
So
of
then
just
the
destroying
lesson,
the Elder Wand.
the
We
lesson,
don't need it anymore.
the lesson could be that the wand isn't the bad thing, it's the people who use the wand. So like Harry can use it
That
for
is
good,
the
whereas
lesson.
Voldemort is going to
That's
use
not
it
the
for
lesson.
evil.
That's why he breaks it, because it's
But
too much power
we're
for
saying
one
he
person
didn't
to
have to.
Yeah, and I'm saying that that's not the point. The Elder Wand corrupts absolutely. It's too much power for one person. It's like the One Ring. Galadriel might be able to do a lot of good with the One Ring, but she's not going to take it because it would corrupt her. And so
But
that's
it
the whole
didn't
point. Is
corrupt
Harry?
Dumbledore.
Harry
It
is
didn't corrupt Dumbledore.
Yeah, that's where it's falling. That's where the analogy is falling apart.
Yeah. So wait, hold up.
All
Okay,
I know is that that's the point at the end why he
we can
breaks
do a
the
whole
wand.
Harry Potter like review in a different episode, but let's get into the actual topic today.
Yeah, let's.
Oh,
do,
yeah.
You know what? You know what?
What? 30 minutes
Tazi,
in.
Tazi, can you roll the
30
mid roll?
minutes in.
Mid
Yeah,
roll,
let's
and then we'll
roll
actually
the
get.
mid roll and then we'll go into it.
All right. Sounds like.
Normally an ad would go here, but we haven't been sponsored by NordVPN yet, so I want you to go to Film Feast on Patreon. You get access to our episodes early. Means that we can make them better, I think. It also means I wouldn't have to work at a restaurant anymore. I hope this wasn't too creepy.
So for everyone who had the patience to make it through that first half of the show,
Half an hour.
today
Like
we were
two-thirds of the show there.
something like that. Today we are going to talk about sequels and franchises in general. This is going off of what Martin Scorsese had to say about what we talked about last episode, where
Says he.
one of his frustrations at the way that cinema is getting treated now is because the safer option is to do a franchise, is to do a sequel. Worse movies are being made, but they make enough money to continue the cycle. And so these
Of
individual
worse movies.
creators of worse movies, and it means that these individual creators are being forced to struggle to make the movies that they want to make. And he specifically talks to how long it took for him to get to make The Irishman, which is something like, I think, 12 years from when they wrote it. He and his screenwriter wrote it to when they actually made it with Netflix. So I think of everything he had to say about cinema, that's probably his most valid point. That in some senses, I really like franchises when they're working. I think Marvel is a good example of that. So there I differ from Martin. But reboots, I'm getting frustrated with the number of
Reboots.
reboots. Even if I like the
Live
reboot,
action remakes.
You talk about
Oh,
Disney's
live
live
action
action, which is
remakes.
just to make basically
Please no.
CGI animation.
I still have only seen one live action remake, and that was Maleficent, and I watched it on Redbox because I refuse
Didn't you watch
to
Beauty and the
support
Beast?
those movies. Nope. I didn't go with you guys. I said I didn't want to go see the movie because I don't want to support their live action remakes.
I went
like-
and watched the live action Lion King, and it's just animated CGI.
Yeah, it's just better. It's like
So
real
it's-
life looking. It
it's
looks
not even real life
but it's
looking,
still
though.
CG.
Yeah, it's just CG. It's
Well, more
as-
realistic than
No, I will
2D
admit
cell
I did
animation.
see the
But the
Jungle
reason-
Book though. I did like the Jungle Book, but that was
Why-
because Jon Favreau did it, and I only watched that. I know he also did the Lion King, but I couldn't do that one as well.
I think my issue with the Lion King in specific is the reason why you're connected to these animated characters from your childhood is because they have like facial emotions and they
Yeah.
don't express anything in the newer live action.
No, yeah, that's awful. They have just no personality
no
to their
personality,
character.
yeah,
Except for
and
the
so it's
voice.
just
The voice is the
bland.
only thing giving anybody personality.
But it's
Yeah.
not even, it doesn't even match what the facial expression should
Mhm.
be. And so it just looks off the whole movie for every single character. And
Yeah.
somebody did a redesign of the characters and it looks so much better. It doesn't
Oh yeah,
look
like a
realistic.
little bit bigger
but-
eyes.
Yeah,
more
bigger
expressive
eyes,
mouths.
expressive faces, basically,
Mhm.
is what he changed, and the colors were brighter,
More vivid.
instead of-
Yeah.
And
More
so,
saturated.
if
right?
they made the whole film in that way, it would have done so much better because you would actually be, I guess, treating. What's the point of doing the remakes besides like a money grab?
It's just money. It's literally. I think the
no, I
main
feel like
reason
the
is
point is
because they don't add like anything to their movies. It's
yeah, of
basically
course,
the
it's
same
just
thing.
The same thing.
It's
But
just to
my
get
s-
money off of the nostalgia of old things, and
So
that's why I think a
that's-
lot of
that's-
people do
That's
that.
my point. That's my point. If it is to grab the nostalgic cash, right? It's
Mhm.
just a cash grab. Ultimately, we get it. You're Disney. You're $1 billion, almost trillion. Are they $1 trillion now
Okay.
with all of their
Oh,
acquisitions?
something like that.
But here's why they make these remakes. This is just the CNBC article title. Disney's remakes have made more than $7 billion globally since
Yeah.
2010. So
Yeah, so
11
it's just a
years,
money
they've
grab.
made
I get
$7
that.
billion.
Exactly.
I get that. But if you're trying to tap into the audience of the old days, if you're trying to tap into that audience and tap into those, they're now kids, right? They're children. Then you would have to bring in some elements of those films that really drew that audience then into those films to bring it to the now, right? And so that's where I feel like the expressions of the faces and I feel like they just don't care about the elements of the films that made them so special to us as children, rather than it is just
There's a
giant
really
money
good
grab.
example of this because they made the Jungle Book. I think the Jungle Book was probably one of the better of
I
the
would say
live
so.
action remakes.
Yeah.
But Andy Serkis made one with Netflix called Mowgli, which
Oh, yeah.
did do that. I saw this behind the scenes thing where he was like, I wanted to make it because animals, you can't give them emotions like that, and you can't really see. It's hard to see emotions on faces. So he and like the animators and stuff like that made sure that each of the characters had more of a human looking face. Like it was almost a mix of a human and an animal face,
Mhm.
where instead of just being a straight up just animal face, because then you can connect to the characters a lot more when they look
Yeah.
more like you. So
For
that's
sure.
I think, and I haven't watched the movie all the way through, but I've seen parts of it, and it's like it looks way better, like especially Blue.
Did you
I
guys
wanna see if
look
I can
at
find this.
Did you guys ever watch Planet of the Apes trilogy?
Yes.
It's one of the best trilogies ever made.
Yes, and there are people out there that will hate on these films, but I think they're so good, not just because of, oh crap, what's the main character's name? The main
Caesar.
main ape? Huh?
Caesar.
Caesar. Yeah. I not just because of his character development over the first film and then into the other films, but because of the effort that they put into the actual technology and the art of making these apes more lifelike, more more human in the way that we can connect to these characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than just character development of the main monkey or ape, whatever
Ape.
is you
your terms
have to
correct.
say, whatever term is politically correct.
Ape.
Like, okay,
Apes
I just sent,
together
sorry,
strong.
real quick. I sent a picture of you to you. This is what Baloo looks like in Mowgli compared to, I mean, it's not compared to, and it's hard to see. I mean, maybe Tazi can add a picture of it in editing, but it looks a lot more human. And even in the one below, you can see him in the Disney Jungle Book where it just looks like a bear. Whereas in the Mowgli one, it's much more of a human looking face. So it's a lot easier to connect it. Like you can see more emotion.
I don't think it's more
It's actually
human
this is actually a little
face.
disturbing.
This
is actually
Mowgli is a lot darker than the Disney version.
Oh no, it is a lot darker, but it's got it. I think it has the good balance between the animal faces and giving like some way to give them emotion. Like they still look like animals, but giving them some
way
sort of
they
like
move their face features. This is why CG's been
that too. Yes,
garbage for a lot of time. A lot of times when you watch, for example, the Star Wars films, when an actual actor would die and then they would need to recreate them later onto a different guy, a different actor, or for example the Paul Walker scenario when they had to reconstruct his face with CGI. You have like a very complicated thing, but you have to like look, and I don't know if you guys watch Corridor Crew. Do you guys watch them? Okay, they talk about this quite a bit in a few different episodes of theirs, where the lip muscle, they put a muscle on their lip, and their lip like moves you can't even do it because you don't have like a muscle.
That's not actually a thing.
Yeah,
there's where it's like the corners of your mouth pull your face, it's not, or your nose,
right,
but it's never
the nose. They have they put a muscle on the CGI face, and so when they talk, it like moves out really weird, and it just looks unnatural because the human face is so detailed in the way its pores like stretch and form and all of that stuff. And they've come a long way since the Paul Walker and the general dude from Star Wars and Leia from Star Wars. Yeah, they've come a long way from those things, and they've learned from those. Yeah. But I feel like Disney doesn't actually ever take what they do and learn from it. They just continue to push out sequels just for the sake of cash.
And I don't think I think sequels I think are different than reboots or remakes, which I think are stupid. Like the way they keep on remaking like a bunch of different movies, like the Alien movies, Robin Hood. Yeah, okay, that's another thing where you beat a certain character to death, basically. Like all the different Robin Hood movies, for some reason, there's so many of those. There's only a couple. Did you guys see
the Men in Tights?
Yeah, that's one of the few good ones.
Yeah,
that one, and then the Disney one are like the good ones. The animal Disney one, the old animated one.
Oh, the
fox,
an actual fox.
Yeah, that one. Those ones are good. But like I think sequels, because like I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I really liked the Tron, like the new Tron Legacy. I really like that movie. That movie was really good. And even though it's a continuation, there are some franchises where I'm like, I feel like people don't appreciate these franchises enough, and making movies for them was a good idea. But it's the problem is when you keep on beating John Carter. Yeah, I really like John Carter
was
too.
A great film. Great movie.
Good.
But they spent so much money on it.
Go to
Disney didn't make any money back.
Go to Disney Plus and watch John Carter. That's because critics panned it. So people were like, "This is a new franchise. Critics hate it, so we don't want to go see it." This is before everyone realized that critics do not represent.
Oh man, the stupid reliance on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I think we
did it first. We stopped trusting Rotten Tomatoes.
Or like the thing that made me not want to watch them was I think they really liked Last Jedi. Jedi, and I was like, that's stupid. And then around that time, I looked up their review for Night Museum, the first one, because I really love that movie.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
the
movie.
reviews for that
Amazing
one is awful. Like I think the critics are something around maybe like 30%.
Another
basically
movie,
what
The
we're
Secret Life
saying
of
is-
Walter Mitty. Critics
That one
crap
too.
on that one.
Yes.
I still
Go
haven't
watch
seen
The
that.
Secret Life
I'll
of
go
Walter
watch that.
Mitty. So good.
Oh, here's what we're trying to say is I have a letterbox account and my
Oh my gosh,
letterbox
stop
account
plugging your
is
Letterboxd
Tazi
account.
Starfire. Go follow me there if you want actual reviews.
The original Night Museum has a 43% on Rotten
Garbage.
Tomatoes.
Sometimes Rotten Tomatoes does get it right though. Have you guys seen Wayne? It's on Amazon Prime.
Sometimes.
It was originally sometimes, but it was originally a YouTube Red TV show.
Yeah,
There's
Secret
only-
Life of Walter Mitty has a 51%. That's
Did you
stupid.
guys watch Wayne?
It sounds
No.
familiar. I haven't watched it.
You never
I-
watched
that-
Wayne?
I
Okay,
didn't.
so it was a YouTube Red thing first, and then that was shut down. Nobody watched YouTube Red stuff besides Cobra Kai and a few other stuff.
Oh yeah,
Cobra Kai
YouTube
sucks,
Red.
dude. I hate Cobra Kai.
I love Cobra
Anyway,
Kai.
I just had a really bad experience on set of Cobra Kai, and that's why I hate it. And I've never seen any of the episodes. Anyway, we're not getting into that.
Mhm.
'Cause,
Yeah.
Wayne, it's on Amazon Prime now. Amazon Prime picked it up. Go watch the first season. It's so good. I love the show. It's about at first when I first started seeing the trailers and stuff like that they were putting out, I thought it was like an alternate version of Bruce Wayne's Batman when he was a kid. But Wayne has 100% Rotten Tomatoes score, and I think it deserves it. It's phenomenal. I wouldn't give it 100% because there are some things that I see that are off technicality wise, but no film is.
So it kind of is. It says after the death of his father, a good-hearted 16-year-old vigilante sets out with his new friends to get back his dad's stolen 79 Trans Am.
Yeah, it takes elements from Batman and Bruce Wayne's story, but it's totally different than who Bruce Wayne is.
Gonna be honest,
not a
this guy.
poor
Whoa.
people.
Okay, this guy looks like a Pollard. He looks like Will. This
No,
is
he
kind of
doesn't.
freaky.
Oh, it kind of does.
Hey, this kind of looks like Will.
But okay, but
Anyway.
I want to pull this back to the discussion of remakes and everything because I think it's something that's really interesting. I think my point with all of this is that one, movies like John Carter and those other big blockbuster flops, one, show that not every movie that is released is a sure thing. And while Marvel movies are more likely than not going to be a sure thing, Star Wars had its first flop ever with Solo because of people hating on The Last Jedi. But
That's stupid.
I don't know,
Solo's a good movie too.
it's such a
I can't watch
complicated
anything with a
thing to talk about
any
because
Han Solo
obvious,
without Harrison Ford, so I've never watched it.
but
TMR,
my
you
point
should
is,
check that stuff.
any Hollywood system, it's a business, so it's not about the art, it's about the money. And while we get into it for the art, big blockbuster movies are only ever being created to make money. It's why, even though John Carter is a good movie art wise, and why it's found this second life on Disney Plus, basically.
Same with Megamind.
Yeah,
Megamind,
as
geez.
well.
Oh, I
Megamind-
loved Megamind.
That
when it first came out.
Megamind is really good, but apparently it didn't do too well and it flopped. And then after it came out, everyone was like, "Wait, actually, this movie was like good."
Yeah,
This
a lot
movie
of
was actually
Zach
really good.
Galifianakis movies are flop, but they're really, really good.
Wait, is he in that movie?
No. Zach Galifianakis, he's
More
just
just putting
another
out
guy.
there in general.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay, I got you. Yeah.
So I can understand the frustration that Martin Scorsese has that he's got a movie like The Irishman, which The Irishman is not going to be for everyone. I think it's a good movie. It's weird because the way he shot it, he has 80-year-old men playing 25-year-olds.
Yeah, and if he was able to shoot
that-
it 12 years when he first started, maybe it would be a little bit better.
I think it would have.
I don't think that would be much better, Tazi.
It would actually be worse because then he would no. It would be better because then he would be forced to not
Forced to get actual young
year-old
people.
man to play a 25-year-old. But
yeah,
the point I'm trying to make with all of this is Hollywood, I believe, is oversaturated because that there are those announcements you get. They're like, why are they making more of this? But at the same time, we do love franchises. Like they are announcing that the original creators of Nickelodeon have been given a blank check to start Avatar Studios. for
Yeah.
Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon.
Wait,
But they are-
what? This is new
Yeah,
information to me.
The
When was
creators
this?
of this was like yesterday.
Like a
that they
couple days
announced
ago.
this.
Aha!
And they're making a movie.
Best
They're gonna
animated
start
TV
making
show
other
of all time.
series. They're going to expand the Avatar universe significantly. And
Is that why they left
it's
the
a sequel.
Netflix show?
I think that's probably why they left the Netflix show. I thought
Which makes me a little less worried about it.
Yeah, it makes me less
actually.
worried about it. Makes me a lot less worried about it.
I wasn't worried about it because I feel like if they were on board from the get-go, and if did they say creative differences? I think that was the biggest thing
No,
that was wrong with the original.
I think they said they were
movie.
just leaving.
Yeah,
For
I
the
don't
Netflix
think they
one,
said
they said they
creative
just were
differences.
leaving. Yeah,
That's
But
why I
everybody
wasn't ever worried about it.
everybody assumed it was the same reason I think they left the other one
Because they
was
wanted
because of creative differences.
M. Night
But then
wanted
it
to call him
well actually it was, I think it was like there was executives somewhere that wanted to change it, and then because
that's a big issue with the industry.
That's another thing is I feel like people latch onto things really quickly, and this might not even be totally true, but there was somebody who had like worked on the movie or something like that, and they were like, M. Night was trying his best to keep it original, like to the show, but there were executives that were changing it, and so he was like, okay, I guess we'll change it to this, but he was like trying to, and now that might not be totally true.
No, M. Night was not at fault as much at fault for Avatar being as terrible as it was. It wasn't as much his fault as it was the executives that sort of ruined things. Now, he is partially at fault. Like, he is partially at fault. Decisions were made in that movie that were terrible, that were M. Night's decisions.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like that's a
100%.
trend with the executives.
That goes back to another thing, that these big movies aren't a sure thing. Now, this is why when people crap on Tenet, this is why I don't want to crap on Tenet so much, because I want more movies like Tenet to get made. I want someone like Denis Villeneuve to get $200 million to go make whatever he wants. I want that to happen. I want someone like imagine, I want to see Greta Gerwig just get like, here's $100 million, Greta, go make whatever the heck the movie you want to make. I want to watch that movie.
I think that's fine. I just think you have to have basic filmmaking principles inside of your movie. You can do whatever you want. See, this is okay. Royal Leaf.
We're not talking about Tenet, Tazi.
No.
I'm not talking about Tenet specifically.
Talking about its
I'm
company.
talking about.
Yeah, sure.
It does. It's just not legally existing.
Tazi's plugging again. Go ahead and plug Tazi.
Royal Leaf Studios will be
constantly.
different. Royal Leaf Studios will be completely different than any of these other studios out there.
Because there'll be an executive who has money, but also knows how to do film.
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue in Hollywood right now when it comes to creating films is producers like putting their own ideas in. Your job is solely business. You're to focus on business. So that's not your job. So don't tell me how to do my job when my job is something completely different than what your job is. Focus on the money, focus on producing rather than creating a movie. Let me do that as the director or the filmmaker. So as a producer, when I go and reach out to somebody like Justin or Brent and they want to do a movie, I want them to be a part of the creative. I want to be a part of it because I think I have input, but I'm never going to push my idea and say, we have to do this. We can't do this, which is your idea because I'm in charge. I feel like that's such a toxic way to run a movie business. And I don't want to be that. And I don't think Royal Leaf is going to ever be that.
Yeah. And it's one of the reasons why Martin Scorsese was having such a hard time making The Irishman. He wanted to make a 3.5 hour long movie detailing this guy's life and the relationships of this guy. And no studio wanted that, because who's going to go see a 3.5 hour long movie? This guy will.
Apparently a lot of people.
I think that's just like the
every
problem.
movie's going to be 3 hours long now.
Is there's the money thing, and it's just the executives, the people with the money, are much happier going with a safe bet of a franchise / a sequel / a reboot, something that has already been established, that has more chance of making money than something that nobody knows about, just coming from nowhere. And that's why I think even the
Transformer films, Herbie, you guys remember Herbie?
Yeah, with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
What
they
about
made
it?
like 8 of those.
Herbie? I thought they only made like 3.
They probably made 4. I think they
I've
made
got-
4.
It's still too many.
It's still, dude. 2 is too many for Herbie. Herbie's a one movie deal. Movies that are good that would have had
there are
sequels if somebody didn't have their way.
There are 6 Herbie movies, but only
6.
one Lindsay Lohan one.
Which is the
one
first
came out-
Fully Loaded.
That was the Lindsay Lohan one was the last Herbie movie they've made. There were 5 before that.
Wait, what?
The first one came out in
They've been
1968.
Oh
it was
yeah.
called,
Well,
it's
it
called
was
The
a-
Love Bug.
It was
then
a
Herbie
reboot,
Rides Again.
right? The
Yeah,
newer
fully-
version.
the Lindsay
was a
Lohan
reboot.
but that's the last one. That's the last Herbie movie that's been made. There
I
was
could
The
have
Love
sworn
Bug.
there was more.
Then Herbie Rides
after
Again.
That one.
Herbie Goes
No.
to Monte Carlo. Herbie Goes Bananas. The
What
Love
did Herbie
Bug,
do to you?
which was also a reboot in 97, and then 2005 Herbie Fully Loaded.
There's
So,
a book I was reading, and I
you
can't
have
remember.
been
Wait, maybe the-
scarred.
maybe the-
no,
this
Tazi,
Love Bug-
tell us about how you have been scarred emotionally by Herbie and Lindsay Lohan. Did you
I
ever have a
haven't,
crush
but
on
I
Lindsay
remember
Lohan,
there
and then
that
you
being
saw
a
her go
huge
down the
topic
train?
in one of the movies or one of the books I just read on screenwriting. Screenwriting for fun and profit, but they had the fun part crossed out, so just
Mhm.
for profit. These guys, these 2 screenwriters have netted since that book was written, or before the book was written, like $1 billion in total from screenwriting gigs, and they
Mhm.
did the Herbie Reloaded reboot, and they talked about it for like 2 to 3 chapters, and that's why it's stuck in my head.
Mhm.
Because I thought they did a few different ones, and they were talking specifically about reboots, because reboots are easy for studios to just have somebody write because the source material is already there. And so typically you'll copy something from a different sequel into this sequel, and that's why a lot of animated stuff just gets copied over. And I don't know if you guys ever saw, there was some Instagram user that I follow that posts this stuff like this, but there was something animated from one movie, and then they used the same animation in a different movie, and it was like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And it was
And Cinderella, I think.
no,
It's a Jungle Book.
Jungle Book, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's just
you saw that
how
too.
old cell animation worked, because it was a lot easier. Because those drawings take a long time. So if they can reuse some,
But I'm saying it's the same
drawings.
idea. Is you have the source material already. Creative ideas are dying, apparently, even though they're not. Just people are lazy and they don't want
I
to
think
come up
that's
with
a
their own
different
stuff.
thing, though. That is
No,
just
I'm saying
simpler
the reason
for those
why
people.
the reason why studios are making so many reboots is not just because it's a cash grab, is because it's a cash grab and it's so easy to make those films because the source material has already been created. You have these
Oh, I
characters.
see what you mean. Okay, yeah,
They've already been developed. You have a basic story arc.
Just converting
already,
it or
and
whatever,
you're just
basically.
moving it over to a different either sequel for a franchise or whatever. And I think
But you
that's,
have 12 different NCIS, CIA, whatever, like 9 Fast and Furious movies.
yeah.
Like all these different things.
Yeah.
It's just
And-
easy to make, and yeah.
I think at the end of the day, this discussion, like, there is no right answer, because there are series that we want to see get sequels. Like, we want to see more Marvel movies. We love seeing new takes on Batman. We love those movies.
I don't think there's a solution, really.
Yeah, but I
don't think you
wanna
should do that
see-
at the cost of original movies. That's why
I want to see more,
really like
instead of
Christopher
Charlie's
Nolan
Angels.
or Pixar.
Yeah, let's
Or
get into that. Real
Yeah.
I mean,
quick,
a good amount of the
Charlie's
time,
Angels.
Disney. I mean, they made
Mhm.
Frozen 2, but other than that, there aren't a lot of Disney movies that have
Disney animated movies.
animated movies that have theater sequels. Like most of them are, they do have direct-to-video sequels, but that's different.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have been original ideas. I mean, maybe not original, because some of them were based on fairy tales, but like that and Pixar less so recently, because they've made a lot of things. And then Christopher Nolan, who, except for the Batman movies, but he basically did that because, I mean, he did the first one because he wanted to, and then the other ones where it's like, well, can you give me money to make Inception? And then they
Yeah.
said, sure. So he's like, okay, I'll make 2 more movies for you. Or the
Yeah.
third one. I can't remember.
He
what
made
it
the
was.
third. He made the second one, and he had plans for the third. Then Heath Ledger died, and he said, "I don't want to make the third one." And
Oh, and then he was like, give me money to make Inception.
Yeah, and that was the deal he made. If you give me the money to make Inception, I'll make the third.
I'll make the third one. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
which
nice
was still,
would it
I
be
think,
to be in that
I think it's better
position?
than the first one.
I know, right?
How nice would it be?
I
Like, hey,
I
studio,
really
give
like.
me
I
a
really like
cajillion
Dark Knight Rises.
dollars.
Everyone
just to make
hates
all these movies.
on not Christian Bale, on
Tom
I
Hardy.
can't think of Tom
Tom
Hardy with Bane. It was like, I
He's
can't
phenomenal.
understand him. I love
So
Tom
good.
Hardy as Bane.
I just love
Tom
Tom
Hardy
Hardy.
as Bane. He's
Great.
God, so cool. I really like Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy and in
What does he say?
I was wondering which would break first, your spirit
Oh, your
or
body.
your body.
Yeah.
And then he cracks his back.
Oh,
And I do agree with where you're going with that. That like there has to be a balance of investing into new content and investing into pre-existing franchises.
Yeah.
I think where I don't understand the Hollywood system is when they invest into something like Charlie's Angels, which has not been in
Like
the
it was a
cultural
big thing,
zeitgeist
but
for
people
forever.
are like, it's not like in the public eye nowadays.
Versus do something like Netflix did, where they're like, we're going to invest into Stranger Things, which is a completely new concept, and it has become super successful. And some people argue it's gone for too long, which is a whole nother debate. But the point is that they funded a new franchise, that there are new franchises out there, and there are new original pieces out there that can be successful.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I'd also love to see them pick up old franchises that have actually gotten really popular, like John Carter. I don't know if you could make a successful John Carter. A lot of the reasons it was fine, it went way over budget because of how it was shot. They shot it like a Pixar movie, where they would watch a full cut of the movie and then do reshoots. And they do that like 5 times, but that's easier to do with animation than it is with live action.
Mhm.
So I understand why it went over budget and why they wouldn't want to make a movie the same way again, but the movie is really good.
Yeah,
John
it
Carter
is. Go
one of
watch
the
it. Disney Plus.
One of the best blockbuster movies I have ever seen. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. Please go watch John Carter. And
I would say go watch Wayne first.
Watch a lot of
so good.
Watch
Wayne so that we get a
watch
second season. Everybody
Our
go watch
Time.
Wayne.
I think
By the way,
there is a new season of Wayne.
No, there's not.
Our Time though, we are
I know.
up to
So
an hour.
I think next time we can talk about just like the producer's role in the entertainment industry, and
interference with movies,
what
and
the role should be,
what they should be.
Yeah, rather than what they are. We can talk about what they are, and then we can get into what they should be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
good.
never mind. Sorry, Wayne has not been picked up by another streaming service.
I
as
know.
of
I
yet.
looked yesterday because I just finished it yesterday.
So wait, you want to talk about the producer's role within?
Yeah, we'll talk about the producer's role in
that
the
one will
film
be
industry,
that one
in
will
movie
be something
industry.
that we can talk about. But that's something where I want to not necessarily reach out to someone we know, because I don't think we know a producer, but I'd love if people want to come. No, I mean like a producer who's actually done features.
Actually,
I mean, like an
produce more
actual producer.
Right, yeah, we can talk
more
about
somebody,
stuff.
but we won't be able to get to him by
Get guests.
by
All right,
then.
all right, Brent. How do we want to end this thing? We should leave Tazi out of it, right? Because he's bad
What?
at this. Like he really sucks at these.
Justin, we
ending
weren't
things.
supposed to talk about this right now. We were supposed to
No,
talk
it's
about
okay.
it once we
No.
ended the call. Because
No, I've
I
muted.
didn't want to make.
No, I've muted him. I've
I
muted
didn't.
Tazi.
He can hear
You
me.
can't
through
mute
you.
me.
Mute
You've already-
Tazi.
I'm in
Tazi.
control here.
Damage has
I'm
been
in
done.
control.
I'm sorry, Tazi.
Oh,
we
man.
wanted to tell you about this later, but we're kicking
sorry.
you out of Film Feast, and we're just gonna make it Film
Yeah.
Snack now, because we thought Feast was just too gluttonous, and we felt like
Tazi,
it's just
triggering
too much
for me.
food, especially when it's right
I'm
before
overweight.
dinner.
We're gonna stop
I'm
this
overweight.
now.
No,
We're stopping
Tazi.
this now.
No,
All right.
Tazi, this is a
This is
serious
over.
thing. Tazi!
If your life doesn't feel like a sequel or a franchise, leave a comment down below letting us know how much the Hollywood system has let you down. If it does, leave a comment down below about how great your life is, because my goodness, if you don't have a Thanos in your life, you're not winning. Also, if you want to support us, which I've said I think 3 times in this episode, you can visit us on patreon.com/filmfeast. If you want to let me know how much you hate the fact that I'm constantly asking you to give us money, you can email us at info.filmfeast@gmail.com, or you could just comment down below and leave a like. Don't leave a dislike, because if you want our channel to, if you want people to hate on us more, you have to leave likes. Because if you leave dislikes, people will stop watching us. So how are you gonna hate watch us if you don't leave a like and comment? You should leave like 5 hate comments. Do it. Do it.